Hello, my awesome Aquarius, and welcome to your moon reading. This is just a general reading, so please do take what resonates and toss the rest. Also, if you haven't had a chance, please do check out your weekly general reading up on my channel. Otherwise, without further ado, we will go ahead and do a 7-card moon circle, and hopefully this will resonate with you. This is the position 1 card, which is basically the position you're in now or what you might be currently facing. The second card is indicative of what kind of got you into this position. Third card is similar to a challenge card in regular tarot in that it is kind of what's keeping you in this cycle or position. Fourth card is your ultimate outcome if you were to follow the 5th, 6th, and 7th cards. So we'll go ahead and take a closer look here, see what we've got going on. So here we have sovereignty, okay? And in this deck specifically, this is about taking back your sovereignty. So taking back control of your personal life, right? And for many of you, I feel like this is something you're trying very hard to do. Some of you may already be in the process of doing that. For others of you, it may be something you working really, really hard to try to get back. You know, you may be coming out of a relationship where you had zero control, or you're in a job where you just felt like you were used and abused and no control, those kinds of things. Take it as it resonates. But for others of you, I feel like this is maybe something where you have already kind of started to get to that point where you are, you know, maybe you've broken free from those relationships, bonds, or you've broken free from that, you know, toxic job situation, whatever, and you've gotten that. So whichever position it is that resonates with you, what's gotten you into it is the unexpected, okay? So I do feel like for many of you that are kind of starting to take back your sovereignty, I feel like the unexpected is what's caused this. And I do feel like that is something where maybe it took for you to kind of cut free, break loose. It took something that was almost kind of like a mic drop moment, right? Like something that was like mind blowing, okay? So maybe you found out that your significant other was doing something horrible, or, you know, maybe they did something really awful to you, you know? Maybe it took somebody really kind of giving you, laying down the law and saying, you need to fix this or it's going to be damaging. Maybe you had a, you know, a near-death experience. Maybe you had something at work that just really went bad. You got laid off, you got let go, or you had a, you know, a real issue there. But I think something kind of really unexpected or really kind of dramatic, let's say, happened that kind of gave you that nudge. And it was kind of like the universe's way of saying, hey, you've got to make some changes. You've got to get yourself back under your control, right? Or things are just going to continue to get worse, okay? And I do feel like what kind of is keeping you in this, or has kept you in this, was discernment, right? So not that you know, always make bad choices, but I do think that you potentially made some choices that you even know may have been ill-advised, or that you regret, you wish you could change. And a lot of times too, I think for many of you, you had options to make choices differently, and perhaps you just held off, for many of you, on the choices. So I think for some of you, you know, you just knew things needed to change for a very long time. And if it hadn't been for the unexpected, you know, you probably would not have even considered making this move, whether you've done it yet or not. You wouldn't have even considered, you know, getting your life back, taking your life back, taking control back of yourself. So if you're looking to get out of a job, looking to get out of a relationship, even if you haven't done it yet, or if you have, you know, whichever side of that coin you're on, I feel like for you, you know, you've kind of been in that situation where you've known you needed to do it for quite some time. You just haven't made the decision yet. You haven't been discerning enough to say, okay, I need to do it. It absolutely has to happen. And that's what's kept you in this for so long. But the unexpected, you know, it's kind of what's gotten you to this point where now you're kind of like really reevaluating. You're really kind of being more discerning and looking to say, okay, what do I need to do to kind of change my mindset, change my path, change my course, right? What can I do to, you know, get myself in line, organize, get things going? Because your ultimate outcome is creation. And creation in this deck is specifically about your path, right? It's creating the path that is best for you, that you like, that's perfect for you, that's the dream goal that you want to achieve for your outcome, your life, your plan. So this is ultimately what's going to happen here. So this is all a great thing, actually. This is about you taking back your control of your life and planning it the way that you want to. So it's kind of like clean slate, right? New beginning, clean slate. This is kind of exciting for those of you who've been in a really, not so great situation, or a dead-end job, or a relationship that's not been great for you. This is your chance, right, to really get to a point where you can really start to look at, what do I want to do? I can start over. It's never too late to start over. Take control back of your life, start over, right? So this is great, but how do you get to that point, right? So for some of you who are like, okay, but I'm stuck in this job and I don't have a lot of options. I'm stuck in this relationship. We've got all these things tied together. I'm financially dependent, whatever it may be, where you feel like you're kind of trapped. How do I get there? Well, the first thing is extremes, right? And I think for a lot of you, you're facing extremes for some of you, because you're like, it would take an extreme measure, right, for me to make the changes that I need to. And that may be what you have to do, right? You may have to make some extreme changes, okay? So it may be that you have to just walk away from a relationship you've been in for a very long time. You may have to file that divorce you never thought you would file. You may have to quit that job that you never thought you could quit, okay? You may have to do something extreme. You may have to ask for help when you're a person who never in your life thought you would ask for help, right? You hate to ask for help. You would never go and say, can I stay with you for a short term until I get back on my feet? Can I borrow some money from a friend or family member or bank or anything until I can get back on my feet? This may be extreme to you, but it's something that for the time being, you might need to do, okay? And there's no shame in that, right? Everybody needs a little help sometime. And everybody needs to take a drastic move or measure sometime to get themselves back in balance, okay? So this is going to be required for you in your situation, and I do think that it's necessary, and I do think it's going to end you in a much, much better position. So if you feel it's drastic and you feel like, I can't do that, it's too much, it's extreme, it's drastic, it's whatever, it's probably the right move here, okay? Because it's going to end you in a much better place, right? And the next thing is self-reflection, okay? And what this is telling you is that you need to look at yourself and say, okay, what is it that I need? What is it that I want? And what is it I can live with? Because right now, for many of you, I feel like you're living in a situation that you don't feel happy with. You don't feel like you are able to look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, this is what I want to see. This is the life I dream of. This is the ultimate picture I want to look at. This is what I want staring back at me. This is the image I hope for, right? This is not what I feel like you want to see when you look in the mirror right now. But I feel like you can absolutely get there, okay? Absolutely. But yes, it's going to take an extreme change. Okay, so evaluate what you really do want to see in the mirror. What self-reflection do you want? That's the first thing you have to decide. What is it you want to change about yourself, your situation? What if you could ideally pick what you'd like to see happen with you, what you would like to see looking back at you, what's going to make you happy? When you look in the mirror, what kind of smile would you like to see back? What's it going to take to get you there? That's what you need to evaluate, okay? And then you just need to make that change, okay? So once you've made the extreme break, okay, you've gotten out of this situation and you've gotten yourself to a place where you can kind of evaluate in peace and calm what you need to make yourself happier, what you need to make yourself feel confident when you look in a mirror. Because for some of you, I really feel like, you're struggling with how you feel about yourself, self-esteem, self-worth, all of those things, because you've been in a situation where you don't feel like you have any control. I feel like your sovereignty is in question. You feel like you're just under somebody else's tyrannical rule for some cases, or you just feel like you're out of control maybe in some cases. because you just don't have that kind of, dominance in your own life that you want, that say-so, that ability to be independent that you want. And this is where you're going to take that back, right? By making those drastic extreme measures, okay? And then you're going to decide what it is you want to see when you look in the mirror. And then you're going to make the change to make that happen, right? Okay? And when you decide what changes you need to make, what changes you need to implement to make those happen, then that's where you create your new life, right? That's how you create your new life. But the very first and most important thing is you have to get out of what you're in, do something extreme. It's going to take that to break free, right? And then decide what it is that you need to make yourself feel happy. Because for many of you, you may not even know this. You may not have even had time to even consider. Right now you may just be surviving, not thriving, right? You're just living day to day. You're not really like living for yourself. You're just living, right? So this is where you get to create. Once you get out of the bad situation, once you get to actually consider what it is that makes you happy and get to think about that, then you can start making the changes you need to take back your sovereignty, take back your control of your life, and create your own path, right? And from all of that, you'll learn too. This is where you'll kind of start being more discerning going forward with making better choices, better decisions, and not letting yourself get into a situation where you put off decision making sooner, where you kind of immediately know if something doesn't feel right, no, we're cutting it out. We're not going to get back in a situation where we've kind of lost our control, lost our authority, lost our power. We're going to always keep ourselves kind of on top, right? We might let people back in, we might let things happen, life happens, of course, but we're going to keep some semblance of control over our own lives from now on, because we don't want to ever go back to this situation where we feel like, things can happen to us without us having any control. So hopefully this was helpful to you. If it was, please do like, subscribe, share, all that other great stuff. And don't forget to hit the notification bell, because I would love to see you back for your July reading. Bye.